of everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's just a tool, is all it is. It's a
That's,
tool, just like Gary Gensler. A
that's
tool.
amazing that he's out there just shuffling to get out of there. All right, so now we got 50 to 53. All right,
Yeah, I see it.
2.1 million. All the people that were crying that they needed volume before, okay, there's your volume. Who's selling it all every day?
Hey,
There's your
it's real
volume, everyone.
sellers. This
Yeah,
is
everybody
this
wants to sell it in the same spot today.
this is just an accommodation to really good clients. They'll find the stock, don't worry.
Right. The short sellers know that we're overpaying, so we need them to tell us
Oh
about the
yeah.
valuation in
Oh
the
yeah.
equity market.
These
That's my.
if
That's
Congress
my.
listened to Gary Gensler today, these are the most honest, the golden standard, the Olympic medalist of markets in the world. Well, come look at the over-the-counter markets. It's a joke.
They do it to all the big names, so you just don't realize it.
Yeah, I
Like I
know.
said,
I know.
For Andrew Leff to come out there and do a story on Etsy that they were selling a counterfeit T-shirt, destroyed the stock was being squeezed at that point to 130. He took the steam out of it, reversed it, and the stock is 65. Think about that.
Well, here comes the 2 o'clock margin call.
Well, maybe that's why they keep plugging it here.
When I was on a desk, that's when it came 2 o'clock. Woo. That's
Well,
usually when I had an appointment
I
out of
never
the
dealt with
office.
margin. I only dealt with delivery versus payment accounts. So again, we had to know our clients like everyone else did. We couldn't take
I had
orders. So
DVP accounts too,
right.
but they started
But
cutting back on it.
I never dealt with margins because that was Citibank was their prime broker or Bank of America, whoever it was, that was their problem. I was there just to execute orders.
Right. So you were a meathead.
I was 100% a meathead that was getting paid 6 cents a share. I didn't care about anything. At the end of the day, I got 6 cents a share, do $100,000 to $6,000. I got a 60% payout, so that's all I cared about, right? I worked on it. I had a salary and I got commission. What more do you want? Do 300,000 shares a day at 6 cents. It's a nice day.
Exactly.
Now there's no commission. I don't know how any brokerage firm makes money. Why would Jeffrey's stock go up 78 cents? What is it? Their investment banking? They're opening up an office in India, and that's going to make the stock go higher? Investment banking in India? I guess they're trying to go to any planet, any continent to try to grow because there's no business in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? Goldman Sachs is having a tough time. I don't think that Goldman's up 9 now. I told you the other day, they slaughter stocks and they rotate them. So they knocked Goldman Sachs down to 220. Now it's 233, up 9. All right, I'm seeing UNH. Let's see what they're doing there. UNH up 340 today. Caterpillar, these are the names they normally manipulate. Caterpillar's up 93. JP Morgan, the same. It's the same 10 names. You can see them just keep rotating them. Costco's doing nothing today. So they they got a couple of stocks they rotated, and that's how they keep holding the market up with this rotation.
Here's a question which I guess people have to ask: can Finger or Univest pull the rug on retail?
Can they pull the rug on retail?
The only one I ever think of.
Listen, I can only tell you this: if you're a retail player and you're nervous, exit stage left. There's nothing to say. To me, that question makes no sense.
Yeah.
They just filed that they're doing something. Why would they pull the rug on the company or retail? It doesn't make any sense. But there's no guarantees in life. You can, just be careful. If you're nervous, you move to the side. There's nothing else to say.
And we're dealing with fraud. We don't know their tools, but
we know their bag of tricks. They run out. You can see that the bag of tricks. The only thing they can do is come out with another story, attack me or attack somebody, But we call the police ourselves. We go to the SEC. We invite you to call the police. If you think it's a pump and dump, call the police and tell them to please follow the sell tickets to stop the pump and dump. Please. Follow the sell tickets, because the most important thing is not to buy tickets, it's to sell tickets. Where's the money going? That's all you need to know. There's your problem. So anyone who's BSing, all you have to say is follow the sell tickets to the money. We're all on the same page.
Well,
Follow
the
the
other thing you can do with Univest is look at the other companies they got involved in from, Avid's video shows it, GDC, HUDI, TOP, and others. They all soared. They all went up massively. So,
Well, again, a lot of people like to come out there and say, well, they came back down. Well, no shit. What goes up comes down, right?
right.
So that's why I keep telling you, put your good till cancel orders in there, pick your numbers, whatever they may be. Hopefully you get them all off, and you're off to and the stock comes back down. If it ever does come back down, you can always step in or go find something else. That's the way it goes. You're trying to get in before the movement. That's it. That's the key.
Everyone's asking the same questions: price and time frame. It's unknowable. But I'd say soon. I'd say it could be this afternoon.
If you understand the game, you understand why you're here, you understand the trading patterns, okay? Those are the most important things. You know Lynn Partners this year. We know how big the short is. We say 170. So you say we're crazy, cut it in half. Let's make it 70 million. I'll take away half of it, more than half of it.
Right.
70 million shares to cover. When they sell them, they have to buy it back. Right? That's it. That's just the game. If you're short, you got to cover. That's what the game is about. We believe. Yeah.
How do the criminals sell stock, and how does it cost them money? It's a question somebody's asking. How do they
sell stock, and how's it cost them money? Everything about doing business on Wall Street costs money. They have to pay for offices, lights, everything else. They have to pay their prime broker. They have to pay fees on everything they're doing. So they lose money every day opening up. All right. So that's how they lose money. They lose money when the stocks go against them, like you're seeing now. The problem is we don't know how much leverage they have and who's giving it to them. We could calculate the loss. We could calculate how big it is. But who's behind the curtain? Is it Jeffries? Is the CEO Jeffries rolling the dice on Lynn Partners and going to fire how many people work at Jeffries over Lynn Partners? Those four people that we put their photos up every day. So Jeffries is going to determine those four people are more valuable than everyone in this office.
And
listen, I have some back office people that I could put on, but their voices are well known and people would know who they are. But they laugh at it. You don't put the money up, they have to buy their own moms in. They don't care. That's how the firms protect themselves. Who's allowing this to continue? I don't know. It's obviously they haven't been shorting it at $7.49. They've been shorting it below $1. It's $7.49 now. They fought it $1, $2, $3. You all saw the fight at $5. You saw the fight at $6. You saw the fight at $7. They're not fighting at those numbers because they're in the black. They're in the red. That's why they're fighting it.
That's right.
And every time they keep coming down to offer, the whales keep picking them off. Keep coming down. This is what they want. It's called a bear trap. Suck the shorts in, let them get there, feel confident, and then they suck in whatever they sell, and then they move it up again. Is that it?
Yeah, the questions are repetitive, and
well, listen, again, it's the same trading patterns every day. I think you get your best price on the close, and I think that we're close to where this thing is going from the slow march. It's going to start to gallop, and then you're going to see a sprint. That's the pattern that I see.
And
if you like to get off anytime you like. This is not lockdown securities. You buy it, you sell it. That's your opinion. You do whatever you like. I could care less. Understand why you're here and the opportunity. That's what I explained to you. I think it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Again, but if you don't have the money It's a big boys game. Okay, everyone wants to get a private jet. If we can't afford it, we got to go take on JetBlue. That's what we do.
That's right.
That's how it goes. So, until you have to be in it to win it. I use all the cliches you can. You trade zero as a moron for posting, trying to get people to even report to me. It's like the third time someone's reported me his name. He's worthless. Okay, he's done no business on the street. He does nothing about this fraud. I've been doing it 23 years. This guy's popped up out of nowhere telling people what's going on. You want to listen to him? Good luck, but don't bring his name up to me again because it's worthless to me.
So he's a big zero.
He's a zero. He named himself.
2.17 million.
Yeah, all this vibe is coming from all the logs panicking out.
I mean,
every second every second. Now it's 7:55, 49 to 55. All right, and now you'll see the 100 shares. If someone doesn't take the offer soon, they offer the 100 shares down. There, 200 shares at 54. Yeah. Even they just keep lowering the offer because it's a head game. They want you to think there's a seller. Oh, it's not going through 755. There's 200 shares offered at 754 now. Wait a second. Let me offer 100 at 750. Let me tick it down. That's all they're doing. Yesterday, someone, I think it was Crayon Eater, put up a post near the end of the day of all the exact trades going off, back and forth. I mean, people are capturing this. People can see it. People have been here for a while now. We're all pretty versed on it. We're all sick of watching the crime. It's just a disgrace. And to watch the head regulator just do a tap dance, it's even more moronic. But again, we need to go up this hill, get around it, and slaughter them all. That's it. The SEC is giving us, the SEC, I think, is telling us, hey, guys, win your battle. You can kill them all. We don't care. That's my opinion on it. I think the SEC is allowing us to slaughter them. I think the DOJ is going to wait to pick up the dead bodies as they get wiped out, and they'll lock them up. We make the cases nice and easy. When they see billions lost, they know who to go get. Trust me, go look at it. As soon as someone loses $1 billion, the next thing you see, the DOJ is investigating it, and the next thing they get locked up. It happens every time.
Yeah.
Like you said, William, put the pain in their pocket, and that's the end of the game.
See, I get it right sometimes.
You do get it right. And Djokovic just won again. Another point. All right, everyone. We ran out of steam here. Again, you know the pattern. The whales are here. Where are they going? They keep... Again, who wants less? The only person who wants less all the time is a naked short. A real short wants this stock to go higher. If we had real shorts in our stock, this stock would be $750. It'd be $17.50. And they'd be welcome. Keep pushing it higher. They would throw us a party for pushing the stock higher. Trade Zero, whatever that idiot's name is, he should be throwing us a party. If you're a short, what are you worried about? Let us push it higher. Sell it. You're on the other side of the coin. Go buy some puts. But instead, they're angry. Why is anyone angry if a stock's going up? What do they care? What do they got to do with it? Right?
Yeah.
No one's telling him to buy it. I could care less.
Yeah.
Go buy some puts. Go on the other side of it. What are you so angry about? Why are the bashers angry? Because when this happens, we're taking away the livelihood of all these little day trading firms that make a short and can sell it throughout the day in a bear rate. Remember, they're parked at these day trading firms. They attack stocks as a pack of wolves. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done for the day. I'll be putzing around, and have a good day, and you know what it is. All right?
Thanks a lot. All right.
You got it. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Whew. That was a long call. All right. We can keep talking a little while or not. Um, um, Landscaping. Thank you, AC. Um, it's 208. Let's see what the price is. 748. As high as 760 today. Officially out of dry powder. I know that feeling. Why does Ned Stark say Brent is a scammer referring to WEYL? You have to ask Ned Stark. I respect Ned Stark hugely. Hugely. Jeff Hennig. I don't like shutting up very much. Very funny. Very funny. Very funny. Is Logic a sell now? I don't think so. I think it's a buy. But I haven't gotten an answer on the financing. But Logic is... I don't know. What's it selling for? Let me look. $0.20 it's selling for. I think it's a screaming buy. What was the ham effect or the ham effect on finger price? I don't know. Jeff, it's good to see you too. Johnny Walker, trade zero isn't a short. He's actually a long. And the reason why he's mad is because people get bagged waiting for unrealistic price targets you guys set. Well, Johnny Walker, fingers up from $1 to $7 something. I recommend you and trade zero sell. There's no diamond hands here. Take your profits and move on. There's other stocks. There's plenty of other stocks out there, Johnny Walker. Unrealistic price targets I set. Johnny Walker, what's your price target? Yeah, I'm afraid that Logic has a toxic convertible note on the Logic shell side. But on the data logic side, you've got a massive upside. I'd say $1.50 a share on the data logic side. So at 13 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, it's a huge upside. But my initial read of the logic deal for there's two deals, logic and data logic. For the logic deal, it looks like a toxic note. But I don't think it'll last. I think they'll have an explanation that I'll be able to come to you with. I think they'll have a reverse merger stock that'll make Logic worth a lot of money on the Logic side. The data Logic side I think is worth $1.50 to you. The Logic side I thought was worth 70 cents. What if it's worth 25 cents? You add the $1.50 and the 25 cents, it's $1.75. You're paying 20 cents right now. But it's 500,000 shares. And remember, when you sign toxic, if you're a CEO, when you sign toxic convertible notes, the person you're signing it with or their clients have already been selling your stock illegally, and they're just giving you your own money to you, and then they keep selling you stock because you put a VWAP toxic formula in the document. So it's just not good. But anyway. Any more news on Jenny L? No, she's doing fine as far as I know, but she hasn't been on. And it's a good reminder for everyone to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She has to go, she's got a challenge ahead of her. But she's strong. She's got a great husband. And she's done a lot of good in the world. So I think God is on her side. What's the difference between a regular offering and a shelf offering? I don't, well, maybe I did make some pictures of it. Let me see. I didn't. The shelf offering is Univest. And then they did a subscription of 25 million. But I hope I took a picture of it because I don't want to look it back up. The table they had was for illustrative purposes only, and it contemplated, as under the $25 million, it contemplated roughly 4 million shares of stock sold. But it very clearly says that they're going to sell stock from time to time at various prices. And it goes on to describe if they sold it at higher prices, that it would be a lesser amount of shares. Let me find here. The sales agent will offer our common stock at prevailing market prices, subject to terms and conditions of the sales agreement. So the point is they're going to sell at higher prices than right now. So the reason you put a shelf registration out, you just have the template ready to go. The lawyers have done most of the work. The SEC's seen most of the documents, and all you have to do later on is put in the price and the amount, basically. Well, that shelf registration specifically said, and you can look at it on the SEC website, specifically said we can't sell any shares based on this shelf registration. It's a template. Then it said you need to have a supplemental prospectus, and that's what this 25 million is. They filed that, so they're ready to go. And in my opinion, they'll sell, if the stock gets to $25, $30, $50, $70, they might sell 500,000 shares at $50. They might sell 1 million shares at 25. And I can't do the arithmetic at $75, whatever the number of shares. Very small number of shares. Finger Motion is in a whole different league now. They're not down with the scumbags like Lynn Partners, New York City. This is completely different. And so they're going to be funded. They're going to be able to execute their magnificent business plan. They're going to be able to pursue growth in China that's going to make Finger Motion a $100 stock all on its lonesome or higher. I don't know anything about Thinkorswim. Well, we can listen to Avid. I don't know who the whale is. Is it Dan Borders or is it an investor? I don't know. Anyway, why don't you go listen to Avid's call? You don't need to stay, Skydog. I mean, I'd love you to stay, but I don't really want to put it on because whenever I go on a space call, it's not a pleasant thing. Yeah, when the stock, look at this. Look at these prices. Imagine the stock does something like this. And right in here, Univest raises money. Not with a toxic convertible note, not as a flow through to the shorts, new money in the market. And their investors can participate in that or not. My opinion, finger motion absent all the criminal selling, finger motion would be a $25 stock right now or higher. So I think that's what they're going to try to do, is raise money up at higher numbers. So let me look at the prices. $7.45. Trying to just do something and I keep screwing up. Okay. Seems like a wall at 750. Well, they had a wall at 5, a wall at 550, a wall at 6, a wall at 650, a wall at 7, a wall at 750. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. I really think you guys, I don't know how many trades you've been in where the stock price goes suddenly higher. If it does go higher and you feel like you're going to go, shoot, I wish I had bought more, now's the time. I think now's the time to buy. I can't give specific advice to anybody because I don't know anyone's situation. But this this is what's ahead. Does it happen this week? Does it happen this week? Does it happen this week? Or does it happen next week? Or does it happen later? I don't know, but my guess is it happens this week. You've got massive call buying. You've got major players in the stock. Apparently, Dan Borders has a lot of investors, according to what I'm reading here, in the stock now. I know other whales are in the stock now. There's been meetings in New York and in Las Vegas. You've got the investment bankers that have been working on this for at least 6 to 8 weeks, probably longer. They're involved, and you've got the potential of a gamma squeeze. You now have the announcement. Well, the filing with the SEC that it's Univest. I don't know what else you need to know. The company on its own, in my judgment, should be trading in the Gary Gensler markets of capital formation and fairness and integrity. The stock should be trading $25 right now or higher, based on its growth prospects, based on its magnificent fundamentals. But instead, it's down here giving you an opportunity to pay entry-level prices, to pay venture capital level prices, to pay even pre-IPO round prices in a stock that should be IPOing at $50, $60, $70 a share, in my judgment, if it were IPOing. But because of the markets and the ongoing corruption, this is where we are. But you've got Univest coming in, and I don't know what you need to see. This is a Univest stock. 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 And there's a dozen more. I don't know what you need to see. But anyway, I can't. All I can do is lead you to water. I can't make you drink. And you don't have to drink. You don't have to drink. You do not have to drink. You do not have to listen to me. You do not have to stay in it to win it. You got to be in it to win it. All right, let's see what happens. $760 will fall soon. All right, sorry I was distracted. I just rolled up, and I encourage you guys to do it. I just rolled up a small position in options. So anyway, I'm putting my ego where my mouth is. That's my Lego. Lego my ego. Let me just see. Okay, let me just see on this. 98s. Okay, I'm all done. Let's see if after this goes down, you should get a secretary. I know. First time hearing Univest stock today. Will GTII break 1? Yeah, it will. I don't know if it'll be this week. Well, the risk with finger, let's see what this MMTLP, I'm saving some dry powder just in case shorts pull an MMTLP. They're not going to pull an MMTLP. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. You're. I don't think raising the vibration. I don't think you understand what's going on here. Univest is big time. I mean, you're talking what I understand, $100 to $150 billion assets under management. Jeff Easton at the Lynn Partners is a pretender. They just paper up documents so that the criminals they represent can destroy companies, and that's the same with Power Up Lending. With in Gary Gensler's market by breaking securities laws. With MMTLP, there was fraud on a massive scale by the shorts, and I've tried to explain it before. When they had Torchlight, they shorted the heck. You see, I hate the terminology. They issued Gensler shares. They issued monopoly shares of Torchlight and destroyed the price of Torchlight. Made it impossible for Torchlight to develop the Oro Grande field. John Berta merged with MMAT, and the shorts continued to short MMAT because that's what FINRA and the SEC allow. Gensler kicked FINRA under the bus, but it's ultimately Gensler. So the shorts moved their naked Gensler shares over into MMAT, but they couldn't deliver the distribution of Oro Grande, MMTLP. They couldn't deliver it. So what did they do? They took the can, they moved it down the road. How? They defrauded, with the help of the SEC, they defrauded investors by getting MMTLP to trade. The shorts continued to short MMTLP. The shorts had 3 bites of the apple. Short Torchlight, counterfeit Torchlight, counterfeit MMAT, counterfeit MMTLP. And then MMAT said, we're going to distribute the MMTLP and it's going to convert into private company NextBridge. That stopped everything. The can got kicked down once, got kicked down twice, got kicked down thrice, but then it was bolted to the floor, concrete poured in it, and it couldn't be kicked anymore. And so the criminals, in the case of MMTLP, sold it off. MMTLP did not have anything. It didn't have an overpaid wanker. It didn't have a huge investment bank. It didn't even have a business plan. It didn't have executives. So yes, while you wait for saving dry powder, just in case the shorts do to finger what they did to MMTLP, you're going to grow old. I don't think you guys understand the story of Finger. Last quarter, Finger pushed its revenues to $12 million. Their milestone was $10 million. And China, half of the quarter, China was shut down for COVID lockdowns. But yet they still got their revenue to $12 million. Their revenue comes from selling top-up minutes. Where do they get those minutes? Basically from the government, but they get them from China Unicom, China Telecom, and the other, China Telewoman. They get the minutes at a discount. They can sell as many as they can buy. The only constraint is having capital. Their cash balance was something like $13 or $15 million last quarter. It grows every time they roll it. And there's no risk to this revenue. In China, everybody tops up their phones. That's one. Two, they've got the MMS and SMS, similar story. Won't bore you with it, but it's text messaging basically. And then the third, they've got rich communications services or rich communications messaging. This is huge. This is 5G capacity. China is building out province by province by province its 5G network. In the United States, we're bombing deserts and assaulting mountains and supplying weapons to the breadbasket of the world. We're not thinking ahead. China thinks ahead. They're building 5G network. People have to buy 5G phones. But anyway, part of that is 5G is rich communication services, messaging. This is huge. This is how businesses communicate with their customers in China. And remember, China has 1.6 billion cell phones. 1.6 billion cell phones. Customers. That's number 3. Number 4, they have their big data arm, Sapientus. Big data is not only the future, it's a massive success story here in the United States. Look up the stock, SNOW. It had a huge run. It's still a big company. Big data. Big data. Then that's 4. 5 is they have signed an agreement with an insurance company. I don't know the name. The number one in the world that provides warranty services for phones and other appliances. Number one in the world. They're going into China. In the new rollout of 5G, China mandates that every customer has to buy, quote unquote, Apple Care. Finger gets 25% of that just for crossing their client with the insurance company. It's massive, and it's happening now. And then finally, they have a huge, taking advantage of their data, taking advantage of their ability to collect it across mobile phones. They have signed agreements with Munich Re and Pacific Re. They've set up a laboratory in China. Or wherever it is, they are analyzing that data. They're in stage 2 of that. They have scientists working on that. They are going to monetize their relationships with 2 of the biggest reinsurers in the world into one of the almost virgin economies in the world that also happens to be the world's largest or second largest economy. And they're going to monetize that in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Finger is going positive in its earnings. Its revenues are growing. Number 6, if that's the right number, they purchased I'm going to screw it up. Miju. Anyway, they bought the Netflix of Southeast Asia. 100 million users. Why? Because it's videos and it's movies, and it's going to that 5G. That's where they are right now, and I'm sure they'll do more. And into that, they had the fakers at Lynn Partners pretend to raise money. They just sold stock in the market and gave it to them, and they did it through their 4 criminal syndicate clients. And Philip Vallier made a big, we are pleased to invest in Finger at this time in its growth, and then they destroyed the company. There were less than 1 million or 2 million shares short in the stock. Lynn Partners got involved. It suddenly became 105 million. It's now 170 million shares that have been sold, which do not exist, which have not been located, have not been delivered, and that was from prices at $1 upward in many cases, such that Tom Ronk thinks the trigger price is around 528, and you're waiting for the shorts to drive it back to 2? I don't know. Somehow I'm not getting across to you. I'm not getting across to you. Finger will not be $7 again. It's $7.55 right now. It'll never be $7.55 again, in my judgment. Ever. And at some point, whether it's today or tomorrow or Thursday, the stock could open at 25 on its way to $500. If it's not this week, the stock maybe goes to 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 this week. And then it's next week or the following week that it runs. But they have Univest now. The short killers. At Univest Short Killer, Twitter.com. Right up there next to at Ham Short Killer. And you're waiting for the shorts to drive it back down? There must be something wrong in my presentation. Because you're crazy. This stock will never see $5 again. It'll never see $6 again. It'll never see $7 again. And you're lucky if it doesn't close. You're lucky if it closes below 8 or 9 today. But if you want to wait, save dry powder in case it goes to $2 again. I don't know what you're smoking, and I'm not getting mad at you. I'm worked up because somehow I'm not getting the message across. This is not the fraudsters at MMTLP. This is not COSM. This is not CLNV. This is not MULN. This is not fill in the blank stock company that it goes up and then they do a deal with the shorts and it gets crushed. This is finger motion that has real revenues, real technology, exciting massive upside in China, and it's got cash on its books, 15 or 17 million in current assets as of last quarter. It's going to turn profitable in next quarter. It's got 6 or 7 engines in its company. And it has just divorced itself from all the scumbags on Wall Street. It doesn't deal with the scumbag Jeff Easton. It doesn't deal with the scumbag Philip Vallier. It doesn't have to deal, the company doesn't have to deal with these losers. They have hitched their company to a star, and that star's name is Univest. Univest has $100 to $150 billion. It has a track record of causing short squeezes. It's got a huge number of high net worth investors, and it's a real investment bank. It's not some phony like Jeff Easton. And you want to wait till it goes back to $2. Well, it's up to you. You can wait. You can wait. I get worked up because I don't think you'll ever see. Look how old I am. Look how old I am. As some of you so unkindly point out. Never in my career on Wall Street, never have I seen the setup that's before you in Finger. I've never seen it. Ever. Ever. And you know, right behind it, we've got another hurricane. We've got another perfect storm in GTII. But if you're sitting here saving dry powder in Finger for it to go down to $2, I've got to go back. I've got to go back to school and get a communication degree because I'm not communicating with you. It's $7.56, $7.57, $7.59 is 2.25 million. And the shorts are giving you a gift to be able to buy it, because when they are told to stop selling it, when they walk away from their LLCs, when the prime broker stops accepting their counterfeit shares for sale because Gary Gensler doesn't do his job, The stock could be 10 bucks just like that. And you're going to wait till it goes to 2? I think I might as well go. I need to go get a job at Sears and sell Sears tools. Maybe I'll go get a job at Jeep and sell Jeep Wranglers. Because I'm certainly not getting the concept across to you that the only thing keeping Finger down is trapped shorts. And they keep playing, but it's going to come to an end. Could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could be wrong. Absolutely, I could be wrong. But when you're in the stock market, you're dealing with probabilities. So let's pick a stock. COSM versus Finger. MULN versus Finger. CLNV versus Finger. Pick a stock out there. Pick a stock out there. DBMM versus Finger. I can't think of other. We can go with Logic, although I think Logic has a huge upside in it. I think you still have 10x in Logic, regardless of this financing. But let's pick any other stock. What is the probability? What is the probability that COSM is going to go up to $200? As an example. What's the probability that Finger goes to $200? It sounds preposterous. Well, let's look at the things. You've got a massive trap short. And by the way, you don't need Gary and Gensler to enforce the rules. Money will enforce its own rules. Think of the movie Rounders, or think of the movie The Gambler, or think of any mafia movie you've seen. When someone owes money, there's no time. There's no negotiation. That's what's going to happen with the shorts here in Finger. But it's so boring to go back through it. But you've got 170 million short. It's not Alpine. John Hurry and his rather what's the word, statuesque wife, both criminals in my judgment. It's not that. It's Jeffries and other real companies that are going to buy in. They've got Univest now. Univest doesn't F around. And Univest doesn't come into a play to wait. They make it happen. And they've done their due diligence. They know the Chinese market. In fact, when Brent Sun of Logic introduced Univest to Finger Motion, you know what he said? How would you like to see a Chinese stock that actually makes money? That actually has a good fundamental story. These other stocks they made run didn't have the story that Finger has. All Finger needs is capital, and it becomes the next internet darling. It becomes the next mobile phone darling, the next data story darling of Wall Street. And you're going to wait for $2? My friend, it's 761 now. You'll never see 761 again. I'm willing to bet you that. I mean, you might see it go down right now, dance around. But before the day's out, you'll never see 761 again. And you're going to wait for $2? You know what I would recommend? Buy GTII. You can get that for under $1 right now. That's the next one that's going to move. It has the same kind of upside. But Finger, the probability of Finger going from $7 to $500, I would put in the 65 to 85% range. The probability of Finger going from $7.60 to $76, I'd put in the 85 to 95% range. You can't ever get 100%. I would put the probability of finger going to $2 in the 0.000000000000001% range. Anyway, sorry to go off on that riff. I don't know. I just can't get it across. You guys are looking a gift horse in the mouth. And I guess that's what you do with a horse. You look in its mouth. It's 764. It's 764. You're not going to see 664 again. And you're holding dry powder. The only reason this parrot is standing on the perch in the first place is because you nailed him there. Listen, mate, if I hadn't nailed him there, he'd muscle up to the bars, bend them apart with his beak, and vroom. Vroom? This parrot wouldn't vroom if you put 6 million volts through it. The shorts goose is cooked in finger. And I don't know how to say it to you. Univest is massive. Univest is humongous. Univest is the Hulk. Univest is gargantuan. Univest is the bee's knees. Univest is a bigger story than Kim Kardashian. Univest is the game changer in finger motion. It's over for the shorts in finger motion. For you to think that the shorts can maybe do something to finger motion like they did to MMTLP, all I can say is good luck. Anyway, I'm not mad. I'm frustrated. This is silver platter time. You know, Ham has been working this for 3, 4, 5 years. I showed you what I make on YouTube. Nothing. And you've got people, including, it looks like this guy Borders, Avid, Arca, Busy Brands, others, telling you from their own experience what they see in finger. And you've got Univest. That's like, you know, just because you haven't heard of it, it's analogous to maybe the Goldman Sachs of China, which is maybe a little bit high, but I don't trust Goldman Sachs. I trust Univest. Maybe it's the Alex Brown of Singapore. Well, you don't know who Alex Brown is. Maybe it's the Montgomery Securities. This is huge. And I guess what I'm not understanding is, to you guys, Wall Street seems like it's just Gary Gensler. It's just the criminals in MMTLP. It's just, hey, we believed COSM. It ran up, and he said he wasn't going to do a deal with the shorts. He said he wasn't going to do a reverse split. He said that when they change the name, it's going to go up. They told us it was 2,000% short, and we lost our money. Well, that's either incompetency, or it was lying, or it was a CEO that got confused. I don't know. But it's not finger. It's not finger. Ham only follows 2 stocks, and he's capable of following others, but he knows the short position. And there's an argument out there. Well, there's no way it could be 170 million. Finger Motion has done so many private placements. You don't know when they bought back the stock. The numbers you're looking at are only the shorts. They've failed to deliver, failed to locate. These are good clients. You can trust them. When they sell it, they're going to deliver. You don't know if they're borrowing or not. That's all fantasy, because that's believing the system still works. It doesn't. I've watched Finger for 5 years or 4 years. I have never seen, with the possible exception of last November, I haven't seen any buyback in the stock. Any. Anyway, I think I need to take a chill pill. 763. Moody Waters, I won't. That's a good point. You're not all thinking that way. I just get frustrated. I don't know. And it's hot in here. And I need a moderator to moderate me. I need a governor to governor me. $7.63. Look, you don't have to buy Finger. You don't. You really don't. And if you buy it, you don't have to hold on to it. I'm not telling you that it's diamond hands and whatever that jerk said. I'm not telling you to expect high numbers. I think you can see really high numbers, but you know your situation. So if you buy it at 7 and I'm telling you it could go to 500, ignore that. Maybe you sell. Maybe when it doubles, you sell half your position, and then you're riding for free. And when it doubles again, you sell half of that. And when it doubles again, you sell the rest. I don't know. Come up with your own scheme. But what I am telling you is Finger is ready. I can't promise it, but you've got the banker. You've got the trap short. You've got the fundamentals. You've got the small float. I don't know what else you want. And you've got the momentum of buyers. You've got the whales fearing of missing out, but right now they're being smart about buying. You've got the potential for hedge funds and institutions fearing FOMOing, but right now they're being smart. And then you've got the errors accounts at maybe more than one prime broker. Do you honestly think the shorts are going to meet their margin calls? Don't you think the lawyers that they have separated these trades into different LLCs and special purpose vehicles and special accounts? And so you've got the greedy salesman saying, hey, don't burn my client. This is a great client. Don't margin call. You can trust this client, because the salesman doesn't want to lose the business. But as soon, I'm telling you, I know this in my own life. You can, as a big and I was a big producer. As a big producer, you can pull in a favor once or twice. I even called the president of the firm on the golf course, and the chairman of the firm called me up and said, "You can't do that." But I did it because I was a big swinging. But I was able to buy time. But ultimately, maybe once, maybe twice, but ultimately, if you don't meet the call, if you don't bring in the money, if your client doesn't perform, doesn't matter how much they like me, they're going to, in my case, sell them out. In the case of this, they're going to buy them in. And if you want to wait for $2, wait. All right, let's see what some of the questions are. I can't, in the time that I've been doing these calls with you, my eyesight has gone from perfect vision to read to I can barely see what anything says. M. Casey. Okay, to hell with it. I'm going to buy 3 million shares in 5 minutes. I love it. Well, that's a good point, Peter Sachs. The difference between value and price is what we should seek in this game. Exactly. Nevertheless, only a few accept that we have to pull the trigger without the price confirming to actually benefit from the value. That is very well said. That's the hard part. We have to. Your gut saying, "Oh, the price is down." I hear what you're saying, but the price is down. I have a friend that talks like that. Oh. Anyway, the price is down, and he's a good guy, by the way. And the price is down. You're saying that doesn't make sense. If you're telling the truth, why isn't the stock at 50 now? Well, you're about to find out. Well, tell your wife I should start mine and call myself Steely Man. Hey, KYP, PY, PYP, PYT. Yeah, the horror, the horror, the horror. You know, I love Tennessee whiskey. I love Tennessee whiskey. But I'll get a copyright. I'll get a copyright. I don't want to get a copyright. Maybe I should do like Skinny Whale says and go to Rumble. But they probably have copyrights there too. 749. So in deference to that gentleman, he's right so far. The shorts are still holding it back. And you might wonder, what is Unicom waiting for? Why aren't they moving it? Well, somebody bought 2.37 million shares today. I don't think it was we. Out of 2.37 million, my guess is this audience, Busy Brand's audience, Ham's audience, Avid's audience, Arca's audience. What do you figure? We counted for 370,000 shares. So 2 million shares were purchased today. And I don't think it's crossing because the bid and ask has been this tight, tighter than a tick. So that's real buying. And what it is professional buying. It's professional buying. But, you wonder, why would the shorts keep selling? It's not their money. It's not their money. They probably have a deal with somebody. I'm not saying it's with him, but someone like a Steve Cohen, and at arm's distance. And Cohen says, I'll give you the first, I'll train you. I'll give you the first capital, and we'll split the profit 60-40 to the big man. 60 to the big man, you can keep 40. Don't ever call me except on a burner phone. Don't ever come by the house. And then they go to work. But it's all in LLCs. And when every company they short's in a different LLC. And when that one gets burned, they walk away. They walk away. So it's somebody else's money. Now, there may be cases where they've signed agreements with prime brokers where their personal assets are on the line, and that would explain, as Not Legal Advice points out, why a John Hurry and his rather full of herself wife, at least from the pictures, might be stalling for time to hide the assets before whatever agreement they had to sign with the prime broker comes after them. That could be. Anyway, it's all going to be, it all has the potential. It all has the potential. Everything I'm saying, everything everyone else is saying, of not mattering in about in about 48 hours, it could all be over. It could just all be over. We're at 755, up 70 cents. Wow, GTII is running. Yeah, Sharon, they're like what's that word? They're like dual suns. They're like two suns that when you saw Star Trek, a solar system with two suns, they move together. Well, the blues of MMTLP are tough. I give congratulations to Busy Brands and 100% savvy. The Statue of Liberty. I always forget her exact syntax. So many other people that came to Congress that have been working on MMTLP. Today, I think, was a huge step forward. Under oath, they got Gary Gensler weaseling, the Weasel Gensler, the weaseling. But every step forward is good. Binary system, that's it, binary system. I was lucky to buy Finger before 7. Yes, binary, you're right. 2.4 million. Traded, not bought. Please spit accurate information. Thank you, D's Nuts. D's Nuts of mine. No, I don't think your clarification is accurate. It used to be that the volume that was reported, you have to divide in half because it was buy and sell. I don't think that's the case anymore. I stand to be corrected, but for many years, that hasn't been the case. So if I'm right, 2.39 million shares bought. But if you're right, divide it in half, 1.2 million shares bought. I don't see the difference in the point. It's still a lot of buying. But I think it's been a long time since the volume had to be bifurcated, if that's the right word. I think when you see the buying, it's the buying and the selling. It's counting it up. But let me see what Skinny Whale said. But 0.07 spread. Yeah. The wife is finally talking to me this week after 11 months of being in the red. I feel lucky and hope her boyfriend gives me one night alone with myself. God. My wife. We agreed to only smoke after sex. I've had the same pack of cigarettes now for 7 years. What scares me is my wife is up to 3 packs a day. How long will LULD halt this? LULD halt this 5:15 or 15 minutes. I don't know. You've stumped me, which doesn't surprise me, Skinny Whale. You're too smart for me. Well, I think Lynn Partners is a front for their 4 short seller clients. Limit up, limit down. How the hell are these guys still standing? Hey, Ellie. Limit up, limit down is what LULD. See, I told you you're pretty smart. Smarter than I am. No, the GOAT is Novak Djokovic. He's the GOAT, 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 GOAT. 753, 756. It's been as high as 772. This is progress. Progress, as they say in Canada. 753 to 756. Chubby tuna is your favorite? Oh, not legal advice. Not legal advice. Do you think fish ever get tired of seafood? What are your thoughts, Hobson? So the phone call today from Jeff is becoming more aggressive. Is finger your best bet? Well, when people ask questions, they're never full sentences, but I assume you mean right now. I think finger is the best squeeze play bet right now, but GTII is sitting there. I think the best bet is logic in terms of 8 to 1, 10 to 1 return on your money. So those are three stocks. But if you want, I have other ideas that if you're talking, over the next few years, over 1 year. So that question isn't very specific. But if I can clarify your question down to what stock is the best bet of having a major short squeeze run imminently, that's finger. RNVA shows the same signs of life. I wouldn't touch it. I own it because I was a sucker. How high could GTI go? Same numbers as finger. Technically, no one should be able to buy shares right now. Well, I agree with you, but that's not Gary Gensler's market. My husband likes chubby tuna too. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. 756, 760. $2.39 million. You bought November calls in finger. That's great. November's great. I just bought some Septembers, so I'm a glutton for punishment. But we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. It's 3:11. Do you know where your children are? Do you think the people of the United States should have the right to vote in the people who are in charge of our capital markets? Interesting question. I actually think the SEC should be staffed with career officers and career employees so that if you sign up for the SEC, you stay there until you retire. How to make that happen? I guess you got to pay more. I guess you've got to make the rewards better. I watched Gensler, the dissembler today. He said that we're understaffed, we're underfunded. All he'd have to do when he fines people is really fine them. Up the number of enforcement actions, and when you fine big numbers. They fined Goldman Sachs $3 million for 60 million trades. something like that, which were inadvertently, Goldman Sachs had left out a line of code, so they were breaking the law for 2 or 3 years, and the SEC fined them $3 million. What if they had fined them $100 million, $1 billion? There wouldn't be, they'd have plenty of money, and they'd have plenty of employees. The SEC is there to protect the criminals, not to defend your rights. 757 to 760. At least that's the way it is right now. It's been captured. It's been captured. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe we should be able to pick them. Need a sales strategy. HNRC, Logic, and Go Logic. WHDI and Data Logic, RCRT. Well, PS71, if I can beg off of that until I find out on Logic, I've got to find out what this financing is. I'm not pleased with it, but it doesn't mean I'm right. Right? I read it out to you yesterday. I gave you my first reaction. But, and then on Go Logic RCRT, same thing. I would, if you give me, I haven't been focusing on anything but finger just now. But I'll come on, I'll get an answer. I appreciate your questions for strategy. On HNRC, I spoke to someone that I've worked with in the oil business, raised money for, and I own interests in some wells, not very many, in the same play that, is it called Covington Energy? Collingham Energy? Can't think of the name. Collingswood Energy. Anyway, whatever energy company it is that HNRC bought in West Virginia. I can't, my brain. Anyway, begins with a C. And now they're changing the name to that company. I just talked to him yesterday or the day before yesterday, late at night, and I asked him about it. He said, run away from that company. So I've got to follow up. What does that mean? Obviously, HNRC owns interests in different companies. In terms of WHDI, it's not trading yet. The value per share is $3.50. From my reading of the announcements and the filings, that $3.50 is acquisition cost. Perhaps that's the same as historic cost. I'm not an accountant, but it seems to me that the value has increased, and so perhaps $3.50 is cheap. They have a whole different set of management. I don't know the strategies there. There's no question, as soon as WHDI starts trading, everybody's going to sell. Everybody's going to sell. People that bought HNRC for the dividend, like myself, you have $1.75 per share in WHDI, you're going to sell it. So I would expect that there will be selling in WHDI. Should you sell on the first day? I don't know. If you're a trader, maybe sell it and then buy it back. My guess is because they have artificial intelligence, because they have some new technologies, it might be an interesting hold longer term. I will probably sell it if it's in, as soon as it starts trading, if it's in a reasonable profit. But if it comes down too much, I'll probably buy more and wait till it trades back up to sell. I think GoLogic will, the combined companies after it splits, will be worth $4 or $5 by the end of the year. I think Logic, the combined companies, will be worth potentially, adjusted for any ratios, could be worth $8 by the end of the year, first quarter next year. These seem very high right now because the stocks are under pressure. But I have a huge caution on the Logic shell because on first blush, it looks like they signed a toxic convertible note. And it, in my opinion, if they did, it doesn't matter how good the story is. Doesn't matter how good the earnings are. Doesn't matter how good the reverse merger candidate is. If you have a toxic converter notes under Gary Gensler's capital formation markets, people out of Germany, Canada, and the United States are going to sell hundreds of millions of non-existent shares, and Gary Gensler won't care. And it's not good news if that's the case. But that's just the shell. That's just the shell. As opposed to the current engine of Logic is going into the ASPA SPAC. And that value of that SPAC is big. So anyway, I try not to avoid questions. I don't think we should be talking about Logic right now. I don't think we should be talking about GoLogic right now. I don't think we should be talking about HNRC right now. Why? Not to avoid them, but because I believe Finger is in the early stages of a move that could go, right now it's $7.67. This stock could go to $767 within 3 days. So my focus is on Finger right now. Finally broke even on Finger. MMTLP. Well, MMTLP, I think that was a huge day today. Democrats vote for candidates promise free money. Republicans vote for candidates that offer more opportunity. But I tell you what, when you get Republicans like Mitch McConnell or McCarthy, might as well vote for a Democrat. He worked for Standard in Africa? Wow. Yeah, Vocal has been a major disappointment. And I was wrong on Vocal. It's easy to call out other people. It's harder to call out yourself, but I was totally wrong on Vocal. Well, I think Logic might have toxic notes. The shell, not the data logic. We've really got to move on from it. We got to move on. I promise that I'll do a video. We'll have a call. Logic trading at 20 cents right now is going to split into two pieces of paper. Collective audience, which I think, based on the financing they just signed, works out to $1.50 a share. $1.50 a share. And Logic, the shell, which I have high hopes that they're going to do a reverse merger that's worth 60 or 70 cents to you. When you combine $1.25 with 75 cents, let's say, it's $2 a share. I think this number right now looks like it's going to be $1.50. This number, I have some questions about. But the financing is related to this. And if it has a VWAP in it, if it has backward-looking calculations, if it has a toxic convertible note formula, I have some questions. But I've told you 2 days running now, I haven't had a chance to talk to the company. I read it out loud yesterday. It caused confusion. My negativity on this caused confusion with some investors thinking I was being negative on Finger. I don't want to mix the two. So if it's possible, I would just like you to focus on the fact you can buy Logic for 20 cents and the Aubrey SPAC is worth $1.50. Just focus on that part. Just assume that the shell is worthless. Just assume it's worthless. Ignore it. You still are going to make 20. You're going to go to $1.25, $1.50 on the Aubrey SPAC. Now, can we just focus on Finger? Can we just focus on Finger? I promise I'll come back to this. I promise. 768, 767 to 769, 2.44 million. There's a 5 to 7 day waiting period for Finger to become effective. Can you walk through? Let me read that because I think that's a good question. There's a 5 to 7 day waiting period for Finger to be deemed effective. Can you walk through what that process? If Finger's with 30. Jeff, I didn't see that wording in there, and I don't want to bring it up on my phone again. But the big part of the shelf registration was for 300 million. All right, I've got to take a call that might be good for us. He's not calling, so when they do, I'll go quiet. But anyway, so the big 300 million is a shelf registration. You can't raise money based on that unless, as I read out yesterday, you file a supplemental prospectus. Well, the 300 million, they're not going to be able. Okay, I got